Hey guys, Ebontis here. Gonna do my solo run through of the Nightfall this morning. I've got Arc Burn, so bring that Zhalo supercell and any other arc weapons you've got. I've got Brawler, so increase melee damage. Grounded, make sure you're on the ground and not jumping around because those the damage coming will hurt quite a bit. And then Trickle, recharge of abilities is significantly reduced. So let's get to it. When you start here, you've got a couple Shriekers. They're void, so just make sure you're on the ground and you shouldn't take too much damage from them. So if you run down here, don't jump and float in the air. If you run on through and take a shot, won't be too bad if you do. If you're floating through the air, then you can take a lot more damage. As it is Arc Burn, make sure you're playing somewhat cautious. You've got arc boomers and things like that in here, so just play it safe and you'll be relatively okay. On the back wall, you're going to have two knights. If you can take those out with a with a sniper, you'll be in pretty decent shape there. And then as soon as you can, actually try and target these guys. Try and get them to group up. If they do, that'd be great. And if you want a little safer path, to make sure you go around and get everything cleared before you come through that side doorway, and grab ammo and then kind of move forward. Really love to have me some special ammo, but not yet. Now this next room could be a little bit tricky, just for the fact that you're going to have some enemies out here. You can try and run by, but if for some reason you don't quite make it, then you run the risk of dying. So if you can do something along the lines of throw a grenade out there. Now I'm going to try the run by. Best way to do it is just come straight around this corner and go straight for it. Don't be in the air that long, and then once you're up here you should be okay. And then I think we'll be at the respawn zone. Alright, so once you come up here, you're going to have a captain pretty much straight ahead. Watch out for him. He's going to hurt quite a bit. You can get a grenade behind him. That might actually work in your favor a little bit. Watch that vandal behind the captain. It's also going to be painful. And just keep trying to keep your damage on that boss, or on the captain, so his shield stays down. He's going to hurt if you stay exposed, so watch those sniper shots. And he stings quite a bit too, but if you can keep kind of coming in and out and not stay too exposed, you can at least work him down. Now there's this vandal in the back. He's definitely one to watch out for. Get a couple headshots on him and he'll be alright. And you got one more vandal standing up here. And then once you take him out, try and get this other vandal over here so you don't have to worry about him before these melee guys come your way. Once they're up in your face, you're going to have to kind of watch out for them. Coming around these corners, they can come quick. If you come down this ramp, they won't follow you, but it's kind of a balance of how close they'll get. So just be careful. And their melee does tend to be arc with their little swords, so be very careful of that. And again, as I said, they can tuck around some corners and hallways, so that guy right there who really just wants me dead, be careful. Got those vandals in the back, watch out for those, and just really watch your radar in your corners. Watch any guys who are perched up. Man, I'm going to run out of ammo shortly. These dregs over here, they're actually solar, which is for a change not too bad. And the boss will be solar as well when you see him. So he's manageable, again, just because he is solar. And stay back here and just creep around the corner until you see him, and then when you do, just put some sniper shots into his head. Get some damage going. He's not too bad. Kind of hard to see him right there, but again, just watch how far you creep around the corner. He's hiding behind that rock at this point. And if he teleports, just make sure you're very cautious of his movements. And he's probably farther left. If he teleports and you're over here, he's probably going farther left. And as soon as you start seeing him being immune, that's just when you can save your ammo. Nope, he's immune, so I'm done. Let him wander back. If you stay back here, he'll go faster and won't shoot too much at you. And when he warps up, then you're safe to come out here and grab your ammo. See if anything good dropped. Actually got a decent amount. And as I haven't gotten too far into the fight, I know I've had some requests so you guys can see my build. Just running Zhalo, Her Fury, and just pretty much anything arc that you've got. I am running Striker Titan. You could be running Defender, honestly. That may be a better way to go, just because Striker's not going to be... it's kind of a risky proposition to use that one, but if you need your panic button, it could be there. Running Lightning Grenade just because it's a very powerful grenade. Also using Overlord, just if you do punch something, as you've got Brawler, if you kill something, it immediately resets it so you keep getting it back. Then, of course, running Battle Recovery and Toughness, Full Toughness. Also increasing the duration of my grenades as well. And just making sure I'm harder to kill. Now, you could use something like Juggernaut, but you're not going to be running around very much, so honestly, just harder to kill in your super. Use your panic button if you have to. Makes you at least a little more durable. Alright, up we go.
Taniks is jamming our comms. Fight well, Guardian.
Alright, so up here in this room, we're going to have our second encounter with Taniks. You'll never face him right there. So once you walk out into this room, you'll have some of the enemies start to appear on this door to the left. So if you hop down here and just wait for them to show up, they will come to you. For these vandals, not too hard to deal with, and then Taniks will be shortly behind. Now he's solar, so he's not going to hurt nearly as bad, but he's going to warp there into the center. So if you do get caught by him, come back here into this doorway. And then from here you can rebuild your health, do what you need to do, and kind of take this fight at your own pace. There's a lot going on out there actually, so it can be a bit difficult. And again, main thing with him is just getting his health low enough so he will kind of move on to the next section. And once you get enough damage into him, he'll kind of teleport down farther below into this middle section. So if that happens, see what you can do to snipe who you can. It's not always doable. And then, yeah, if you can get a shot on him, just go for those headshot snipes. Once he's immune, you see anything immune, just save your ammo. He's going to get out of there shortly. And then you can work on just the rest of the room in kind of a normal fashion. One thing about staying back in this room, you will save yourself from some of these melee guys coming up to you. You can take your time on some of the captains. They're going to be fairly painful, so just watch those. Now again, you could risk going in there with like your Fist of Havoc and just clean sweeping all of these guys if you can get them grouped up, but not always the easiest thing to do. The captains are arc, so they're not quite as bad, but again, can be somewhat painful. Now the nice thing about Zhalo, you'll get to that chaining effect, so you actually will build your super up a little bit, but it's just a risky thing to use. I can try it here for you guys if you want to see it. Give me a second. Oh, see, there's Storm Fist back already. I need to get some health back before I try this. Alright, they're together. I'm going to go for it. 90,000 ought to wipe most guys out. Once you do that, pull back. Make sure you're not going to get picked off too much. And you can see if anything remains. Probably have a few vandals, things like that out there trying to pick you off, but should be pretty manageable. Oh, got a few more. Watch those snipers, they're going to hurt. So if you want a different angle at them, you can come around this thing right here. Just try and catch them off guard over here. And that should mostly do it. Make sure you're checking your radar if you got any stragglers up on your level. Looks like I've got one hiding. Oh, there he is. And run through and pick up your ammo. Doo-doo-doo. Nothing too bad. Alright, onward. Now the next room. This one is going to be a cautious room for sure, because for one, you've got the tank that's going to come down from the ceiling. You're going to have quite a few enemies. You're going to have explosive shanks. So this one's definitely one to be careful with. But you've also got quite a few enemies over there on the left-hand side, so you've got a couple options to try and draw them out. Yeah, and those grenades are going to be a lot more painful, so be careful of those. Yeah, the Halo is a bit hard to control at range, but if you can, at least you know you'll put that primary to use. Come on, peek back out. You know you want to. Now there's some guys down that tunnel, but if you can take out the vandals first, you'll save yourself a little bit of anguish from being flanked by anything. And when you come in here, it's probably a good time to use one of your grenades just because you only have a limited number, but if you can at least put it to use, well, it'll be worth it, believe me. Alright, so as soon as the boss comes down, and you've got that down, watch for this captain over here on your right. That's just going to be your kind of quick priority, and then you're going to have quite a few guys coming out of the side hallway over here. You got a couple of rockets and you want to take them out quick, it's definitely one way to do that. You'll have a few stragglers. But then one thing you can do to actually save yourself a lot of anguish here is to shoot that gun off of the walker. He's got his big gun, which definitely hurts, but that arc gun is the one that will fire faster and catch you off guard. So that's the one, if you can try and take it off of there, you'll save yourself a little bit of pain and anguish, because that's going to be the one that really hurts you. Quite a bit. And gotta use a special synth. Yeah, if you can pop this thing off of here with, there you go. What did that take? Maybe 8 sniper shots? Not too bad, and now you don't have that arc thing shooting at you. You're still gonna have the big one going. As soon as you do that though, you're gonna have exploder shanks, so be ready for that. If you stay over here in this corner, they're all just gonna kind of funnel to you. Most will come up the stairs or out of these doors. So just sit tight until you make sure you've got them all. Once you feel like you do, you can come out and peek, see if anything's coming. You can move around and just see how everything is doing with the boss. Now you can sit tight right here. He's going to line up his shots. Make sure you're not in that. Even though it is solar, that thing is still going to wreck you, so just be very careful of it. Get your shots into the legs to do the most damage. Otherwise, you can't do much to him. Once you actually get enough damage into his legs, he will open up. It's probably going to be on the next one, actually. What I'm trying to do is get him to... Okay, so I've got some damage into him. I've got more shanks coming, so to try and conserve things right now, I'm going to try and get these guys to group up back here, but you also want to watch your left-hand side. You're going to have some enemies that come shortly. So be careful of those. Watch your radar. Stay back here and honestly just sit tight. Wait for these shanks to come. And keep checking that corner over there. If you're up forward, you should be relatively okay, but there are going to be some enemies that spawn over here. Some of them will eventually run to you, so this is going to be your point where you're going to want to use your grenades or a rocket to clear this side out, because it's the best place you're going to get blindsided by. Everything else you can control mostly what's in front of you. So once that leg is down and he's actually down, this is that point where you want to go for those middle shots on the tank. Get as many in there as you can quickly. And then be careful of that side. Alright, so now is when this side is going to be exposed. Try and get your grenade back there, see what you can do to get those guys hurting from that. That's going to save you quite a bit, actually. And also Zhalo will self with his chaining ability in here as well, so keep pressing those guys back over here, reload, and just keep pressing them so they don't push too much. These are the guys that are going to take you out, and then again check your sides, and then back in the middle. If these guys are all down, you should be in reasonable shape. You're going to have some guys in the back there that are going to hurt with their little tracking shots, so watch their heads, and just see what you can do to try and pick them off. They're going to be kind of hovering around a little bit. But use your sniper, try and pick those vandals off back there, and take your time. There's no real rush in doing much in this one. Once these guys are down and you're not doing damage to the boss, you don't have to worry about nearly as much. Now back on that upper level, there's going to be a few snipers back there as well, so just be aware that they're definitely an option. Now this is one place where you can do some damage to the boss but also get caught off guard. So those are the vandals I was talking about in the back. If you pull up close, you do want to make sure and watch out for those. Try and take care of the lower level snipers first. Those are going to be the ones that are probably going to catch you the quickest. And then these are the ones back here. If you can take those out, not hit a wall apparently, that would be great. I guess pretty much wait until you have a health bar on them. There is one actually above over there, so be aware of that. And that should be most of those. I'm going to pop out here to grab some ammo. And come back a little bit. Now, most of the room should be fairly clean. So if you want to work on the boss, you can flank him a little bit over here on the side. Shouldn't be able to shoot you that much. If you hear the targeting from the big shot, be careful of that. Now again, it takes 8 shots to drop a leg. So once you've got those down, try and put any damage in there you can. But you're probably going to have to at least take him down 3 times, so just be aware of that. As usual, make sure your rockets are reloaded. Make sure you're good on ammo. I'm going to try and swing out here and grab some sniper ammo real quick. Again, you can see those radar tings. They're actually right above me up there. So if you're trying to run through the room, make sure you remember that they're there. And then over here, just going to be the boss. Not too much left, really. So grab your shots. Normally he won't just sit there and take it like that, but if he does, just go ahead and let him. What I'm trying to do is just melt down this front leg. Pretty much what you want to do is try and focus your fire into one area so each leg goes down quicker. If you spread your shots out between, 3 or 4 different legs, he's not going to go down, and you can't get those shots into his core that are going to damage him more. I'm also trying to do this so I can save my sniper ammo to finish him off. Like that. Alright, so once he goes down, stay back and be cautious a little bit. You're going to have some guys that come out of the tunnel. Those right there in the back. So be careful of those. Some dregs, some shanks. Just keep your distance and work your way forward slowly. Grab ammo while you're doing it. Pick any guys off you can from a distance. And as I said, you'll have a few floaters back there. A couple more out here in the middle I can see on my radar. And I think that should mostly be it. And that guy. Alright, so now's your chance to pick up some ammo, of course. Some potentially can actually drop up here. So if you need to check anything, you might be actually lucky enough to get some heavy up here or something like that. And just depending on where you killed enemies, just make sure you pick up everything you can. May as well get it, it's free. Alright, so now the next part is going to be your next facing of Taniks, and it can be difficult to do enough damage by yourself. But pretty much once you cross this doorway, he's going to spawn right there in front of you. So have your sniper ready. Walk forward, cross the doorway, and then pull back. And again, he hurts, so it's hard to get a lot of damage into him right there. So then once that's done, pull back a little bit here. And slowly work your way around this corner. You want to watch for the guys that are going to be around these edges. A couple of these shanks and things. Taniks is going to be right over here as well, so if you can not walk around the corner, you'll save yourself a little bit of anguish. And then if you can put some shots into him, what you need to do is basically put enough damage into him to get him to go into this room. So however you can do it, go for it. Those vandals are going to be painful, so if you got to retreat, make sure and do so. I'm running like crazy here, so I can get some separation and stagger them. Now, there's a point where the boss will just eventually leave. So when that happens, you should be safe to come out here. Now, the boss fight doesn't actually start until you actually leave this little area right here that I'm in. Once you cross over these stairs, he's going to spawn over on that circular platform over here. When that happens, it's probably a good time to have a grenade on his way to him once you actually get things going. So that one's attacking him, and then have your sniper ready to start trying to stagger him too. Alright, so come out here, try and have a grenade right behind him, wait a couple seconds, throw that grenade, and then start going for those headshots on him. If you can stagger him, you'll actually be in pretty reasonable shape to actually keep him somewhat manageable. As soon as he goes down to the back, keep trying to keep your distance on him and keep those sniper shots. You can keep some cover and still be able to hit him. Go for it. The faster you can take him down, the better off you're going to be. He's definitely a rough one by yourself. So if you're having some issues, don't worry. This is a pretty brutal boss on your own. And all those vandals, as you can see, are arc, so be very, very careful of those. You're going to have some shanks that work their way to you, so wait for those to come up first. Watch both sides on your radar. And just keep being cautious. Staying back in this room is your safety point. You can't go back any farther, so this is your spot where if you got to use Fist of Panic, you can. But this is your safe spot. And again, just keep watching for your radar for those shanks to be coming. And then when you feel like you're in a decent spot, just watch for the enemies. They should be to a point where they do stop spawning, but you've actually got to get most of them down first. And I'll tell you to use your Fist of Panic on that captain just because it's very close quarters and he's going to hurt quite a bit. Now the vandals, if you can get that chain lightning effect to work, you can brawler these guys. This is actually going to be kind of a nice time to use that. Now once those captains are down, you should be in reasonable shape to, for one, try and grab some ammo, and two, try and work those vandals down. But again, be very careful with those vandals. It's a lot of arc shots that can do damage to you very, very quickly. So bounce back and forth and just be careful. Most of these guys shouldn't be too bad as long as you play things pretty cautiously. Now the boss is back up here in a decent spot to fire at, so use that in your favor here. Watch the wall though, because sometimes it'll actually count your shots as hitting the wall even though it looks like you're not. Should be good on the vandals at this point. So now pretty much you just need to find him. Try and put your shots into him where you can. And just take your time. He's going to be on that middle platform rotating, or he's going to be typically warped in the back somewhere. He seems to have actually moved, so he should be in a reasonable spot to actually... Oh, we got more enemies coming, so be careful. Try and catch some of these vandals as they're coming out. These dregs are definitely going to be a painful one to watch out for too. So if anything keeps coming in here, just stay here, stay safe. Drags are going to be painful just because they are arc. And again, just play it cautious. Best thing you can do. Shouldn't have too much if you can try and find him. He's going to be way over on that other side. Lots of vandals and drags, be careful. Now we've got those captains in the back, so you want to watch out for those. Also got some elder repeater shanks out there, so things are definitely escalating for sure. That captain you want to make sure you watch out for. If he does come rushing in, make sure you remember you've got your super. That is an option. Now, as the boss moved, the captain's still out there, so be careful of him. You can get some shots into the boss, that'll save you a little bit of anguish. His captains are up there as well, so now's probably a good time if you can throw a grenade actually out there. See if you can use that to take some of them out. Then just keep pumping some shots into them as they're taking those shots from your grenade. Now, if you want to take out that other captain, if he's warping around, take your time. Wait for that, and then go for his feet so you don't miss for sure. That way that captain is down, and then switch sides, and then just work on Taniks again. Watch those rockets as you're shooting walls. That can be a very, very costly mistake. And then see if you can figure out where he went. I think he's behind that corner, so again, go for the feet. And then just for quick successive shots, go for those sniper shots. But he's going to run, of course. Now, he doesn't have that much health when you get in here, but as the arc burn is definitely a factor with that many enemies, be careful of that. Keep bouncing back and forth so shots aren't coming directly at you, so you get a chance to put some damage on him. Watch which side he's going to creep out on, and we'll see if we can finish him. Oh, I need like one bullet in him. Should be coming around this corner. And he's down. So that is a wrap, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Would love to have had that thing earlier on. Hey, I got the Cloak of Taniks. What do you know? I'll take that. Make sure you don't die from those guys. You don't need to do that. So if that's the case and you got these enemies running around, just use the Scorch Cannon. Have some fun with that. It's a nice way to clear out the last group. You just send random enemies out here to mess with you in the last, 30 seconds of your mission. And that'll do it, guys. So caution, again, there's quite a bit in there that's arc, but the boss isn't. So if you shoot the cannon off of the tank that's arc, you can manage that room a little better. And what did I get? A last extremity with accuracy while airborne, and unassisted kills with Grenadier. So not the best thing in the world, but oh well. Hope this was helpful for you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like down below if you did enjoy it. Comments if you have any questions about builds, run-throughs, anything like that. Other than that, check out the rest of my videos. I will work on Challenge of Elders next with Solar Burn. That one's going to be rough. And then after that, I'll be doing No Man's Sky. So have fun today, guys, and good luck.